Hey, how's it going everyone? Welcome to a video here for the latest S.H Monsterarts release. This is Godzilla vs Kong, or Godzilla X Kong the New Empire, Godzilla 2024, evolved version from Godzilla X Kong the New Empire. Whew, what a name. But anyway, this is the pink version of Godzilla. If you haven't seen the movie, yeah, go watch. If you saw the others, you'll probably like it. It's okay for me, a one watch maybe, but yeah, in this one here, he gets powered up. That's why he is pink. So a bit of a spoiler if you haven't seen it, but if you're watching this video, I assume you probably don't care about it anyway. But yeah, on the back, few images showcasing what it comes with. You know, the usual standard packaging. Now this was a premium bundle release in Japan. I believe in the US it was retail, or at least on a web store exclusive type one. So if you haven't picked up one and you want to get one, keep an eye out for your local online retailers. Yeah, I think normally like GameStop and shops like that often have, I believe. And if you're in Japan, you'll have to just check out shops for ones being resold. But yeah, anyway, let me pop them out of the box so we can actually check out the inner packaging. Okay, so real simple. Godzilla and an additional pair of hands. So yeah, unlike the previous release with no breath or anything like that. So pretty straightforward, just straight down to Godzilla himself. But yeah, let me check him on the turntable so we can have a look at the finish, because I think that is one of the main points for this figure that shines, along with all new updated articulation. Okay, so he's up on the turntable. I think straight away you'll be noticing the different colours on this figure. We have the base internal plastic coming for the body, which is more like the older version of the GVK one, not the new one, which is that real dark kind of shiny black, so a lot more of the earthy tones. And then to highlight that as well, we have the brighter earth highlights on them as well. Kind of like a clay looking brown colour over a lot of his scale parts all the way down his body, and again the same colour kind of matches him with his claws and the toe claws as well. Now yeah, definitely does give him a lot of depth and detail. There's a lot of sculpting and detailing throughout his whole body. And then next there you'll notice his really long limbs, right? Now for both his arms and legs, something that's a little bit different compared to most Godzilla designs, I guess, as well as figure art. So we get a lot more articulation in those joints, which we will take a look at shortly. Yeah, you may be noticing already a little bit more of a subtle difference in design for around the neck and the upper body, which does give him a bit more articulation as well, which is great. But coming back to the finish, at least, the pink on his spine. On the box, right, it looks a lot more graduated in a dark pink up to lighter, whereas the actual figure in person, it is just one solid colour. I think a lot of the promo photos, I guess, using stronger light, which will give it a bit more of a difference. Let's get a light here so we can have a look as well. Like, if you have a light on the outside, it does get lighter than, and you know, kind of, I don't know, it picks up a light. It definitely looks better with light on it. It gives it a bit more vibrancy, and you know, especially if a light is further away, it'd be lighter and then it'll get darker. But yeah, definitely a little bit disappointed in the finish personally. It just doesn't quite look as good as how he does in the promotional photos. I understand lighting plays a big part in that, especially when taking photos. So maybe in toy photography this will look really good, but just base form in your hand as a toy, you know, figure, not as nice as what I was hoping. And then there's like the extra colour on the top here, which doesn't quite look as nice on the spines as well. So yeah, the finish on this one here has definitely left me a little bit wanting more actually. It doesn't feel quite as polished as what I'd hoped, I guess. I think that may also come down to the price point. He's around, was it 12,000 yen? Actually I think a bit more. Really expensive. Obviously all new design body, so that costs a bit, a lot more articulation. It's not just a straight copy and paste of previous designs. But in considering that the other ones were a lot cheaper, right? They were around the 9k yen range, I think, from the original one. The re-released one cheaper again, which was great. So maybe, yeah, they didn't expect many people to want this version of Godzilla. And yeah, to be honest, probably one of those people actually. This is probably one that was the tipping point for me, where I've got like, yeah, you know, I'm fine without the GVK stuff in my collection, so I'll probably be getting rid of all of them. I'll probably keep Kong. I really like Kong, and maybe the original Godzilla from 2019 ones. I like those ones, but GVK ones, I don't think they have a place in my collection, and maybe a lot of people are similar to that. So I'm curious, let me know in the comments below, are you in the same boat, or are you all in on all the GVK figures and really want them, or are you just kind of like me, interested in seeing what they're like, but don't really want to spend money on them, or don't want to put them in your collection? I'm definitely keen to hear maybe that your thought on that will change as well as we look into articulation, which we can jump into next. I think that's probably the most interesting part for this figure. So starting with the head, all new range of motion where we can slide the head up and down on that joint as well, which is great. So it does give it a lot more flexibility and motion, which feels so nice. I love this. I would love to see it more in other figures. The usual jaw will open up as well. A little bit more limited compared to some other figures, it feels. Could be a little bit tighter on mine, but if I do pull it out as far as I can, it does slowly kind of close up a little bit. So if you pick up this figure, let me know how far yours opens as well, if it's kind of similar range or if you can get further. But yeah, besides the neck point there, the upper, I guess, torso area has a similar joint, so you can go forward and then back really far. So that's nice, so we get extra motion there, which we don't normally get this range, right? So we can swivel around, up and back, and when combined with the neck as well, we actually get a surprising amount of articulation from the figure, which is absolutely amazing. Now moving over to the shoulder range here, again, decent range, we move all the way up and around without any issue, kind of swivel in and out by a few mil. We get the upper bicep swivel, we actually get a decent elbow joint here, which is double jointed with a few mil, and we can swivel on that point as well. The peg feels nice for the wrist. One issue, or annoyance I guess I should say, opposed to issue, with Monsterarts is often the wrist pegs fall off easy. Mine have been really solid, stuck on really well. So that is nice to see. We obviously can switch these hands out. Let me do that now. Okay, I had to get a better grip, but yeah, these pop on well and they stay on nice as well. So really good to see there with the joint for the wrist peg being improved actually where it works. Now coming to the back spine here, we have what's it, 1, 2, 3 points of articulation. Here we don't get as much range. Again, it's mainly just a single joint, but we get 1 or 2 mil up and down on that, I guess just above hip region, and then the tail will swivel around as well. The legs itself, again, decent spread going in and out. The swivel is a little bit harder because it is an oval, so it will kind of hit and spread out a little bit, kind of similar to most other releases. The knee joint is really good though. Basically from a straight leg, and we can curve all the way around. So huge range there, which does help with that running pose, which I guess this version of Godzilla is kind of infamous for now. And then we get the ankle swivel. So again, huge range of motion in all of the joints compared to your other Monsterarts releases. So definitely nice improvements coming through here. Now the tail itself, most tails actually for most recent Monsterarts have been really good, and this one's no exception. Multiple points of articulation all the way down to the tip. Oh, pop that off. So little bit tiny joints there, allow for all the articulation, which is nice. And yeah, feels really fluid as well. Not much else to really say there actually, besides yeah, looking good. Okay, check him out, using that awesome articulation in this figure to get him into a running pose, and yet just balancing there, no stand. Yeah, but I don't know, it's kind of, it doesn't feel like a Monsterarts or a Godzilla figure, right? I mean, a lot of people gave a lot of shit about the 98 Iguana Godzilla and his kind of running slenderness, and it seems like we've just done a full, you know, 180 back around to that design, but it's not as cool. So personally, I want a 98 instead of this. If I want a skinny, kind of lanky running Godzilla, give me 98 any day. But yeah, how do you feel? Like, I think the way they've moved now, I think we could get a 98, right? They could definitely pull one off and it'll be really cool. But yeah, all the extra articulation in this figure definitely makes this a lot nicer. I really love that neck joint, right? And it's probably one of my favourite areas actually, or areas of improvement on this figure. Obviously the limbs in this one, it works since he is a lankier version, so they can give extra articulation in there. But I feel like this top section can be applied to multiple figures as well, so it'd be cool to see if they do take that forward into their future releases. Okay, so we'll jump into the final thoughts here. I have obviously the evolved Godzilla along with the two budget releases from when the movie first came out, Godzilla with the Breath and the Kong. Now, I gotta say, out of all of these three, Kong is still my favourite. Actually, this re-release of Kong is probably my favourite from all of the GVK. This is definitely my favourite of all of the GVK releases. I just love the finish, a little bit more of a matte, the silver in there just makes everything really pop for his sculpting. But I feel like this Godzilla kind of accomplishes the same, where this one was lacking. It's just a straight base plastic, a little bit flat, a little bit too black and shiny. Whereas this one brings a bit more earthy. So you know, all the weathering and colouring on this new evolved Godzilla really makes all of the extra details shine through, whereas on this one he was just shiny. So yeah, definitely a big improvement in there. The paint, I don't know, I think that's going to be a personal preference for me. The paint colour never did anything for me anyway, and it just seems a little bit fleshy. And just kind of almost just one solid colour. I mean, if you get a bit of light on, depending on the angle, the tips are a little bit more white, but for the most part it doesn't really come through as well as say the painted blue one on the budget release, where this one here you can definitely see the difference in the blues used there, which I think looks a lot nicer. So yeah, I don't know, I think that aesthetic design is just not something that I like, so it's hard to really get invested, to be honest. But from an articulation standpoint, I absolutely love this figure, especially that head neck region. There we go. If you want to see what it looks like inside, like this peg, if it pops off, just pop it back on. I've been playing with it quite a bit, so just keep that in mind. If you push too far, it will pop out, which is good opposed to breaking. But yeah, articulation is really cool in the head and neck area, along with the tail is really good, and then the legs and arms. So I think if you love this version of Godzilla, you'll really like him. I just think for the price point, as someone who isn't super invested in it, it isn't worth it. But I think again, at the end of the day, it's going to be a personal choice there. If that price point is not an issue for you and you love this design, I think you'll absolutely love this release. So yeah, let me know in the comments below what you think. Which camp are you in? Are you in the yeah, this is amazing, or like you'd rather get something else? At least for me, if I want I kind of said earlier, but if I want a skinny, lanky, running, non-real Godzilla, then I want 98 hands down. And I really hope we get one eventually, because that would be really cool. Maybe it is a little bit nostalgic, I guess. But I know a lot of people have been asking for them as well, so hopefully, fingers crossed, one day we get the Ultimate Zilla release as well. But yeah, anyway, again, I will have some more Monsterarts videos coming up in the near future. There's the 70th anniversary Godzilla, who I am looking forward to. I'll also be getting the Tamashii Nations event exclusive 2023 Godzilla, so really looking forward to that one. He looks pretty cool. So yeah, if there's anything else you guys want to see, or any details from maybe Godzilla Feast you're looking forward to, let me know as well, and I can see what I can do. Maybe get some photos and share on Insta or on the YouTube community or something like that. But yeah, anyway, that is it for the video. So again, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, cheers.